Alright.
This is a setup for a compound machine.
Setup for compound machine, grade 2, principal engineering. Okay, so first on the back, the screw here, you have to make sure that it's level because sometimes a part of it likes to drop, so you kind of can't use it. So you have to adjust it so it's level. And then second, you take the wedge here, and on the red piece there's a little part sticking off, and you put it on the back of the wheel and axle. And this here is our safety. And that once the marble, you drop the marble right here on the top, it goes down, and it will kick the wheel down the ramp into the next inclined plane, in which Mikey will set up.
Alright, this one you have to put the two balls so that they're balanced and that they don't just start randomly rolling. This is our safety. Then wheel and axle hits this bar and it pushes the balls down, which goes through this tube thing, lands in the basket, and then this lever pushes this up and pushes on the wheel and axle.
So then the wheel and axle will be resting at the top of the to set it up, it has to be highly tensioned, so just the slightest amount of weight will send the wheel and axle rolling, and then there will be a marble on the outside of the red piece that the wheel and axle will fall on the lever, drop the marble will land in this basket, pulling up this red plate, which there's another marble behind resting on the two bars, and then the wedge will be set up, which the marble will hit, releasing another marble to travel down the screw and land in the basket, which will be under this rod set up, so that way it's low enough, and then there'll be another marble in this area that will be triggered to go into the next group.
Okay, so ours, once the marble falls off into the basket, release the pulley, send it off to hit the wedge, hit the wheel and axle, which will spin this screw, setting off the next group. To set it up, you need to rotate this back around and tighten this so that it's resting up against this post, and when the thing hits it, it'll fall off. The cart, you need to make sure that this heavier end is on the front so that when the wedge hits it, it'll go off and not stay put. For the wedge, you need to make sure that this open end is attached on this side, otherwise it won't stand up by itself, just like that. And then you just need another marble here. Make sure there's one marble also in the basket so that the weight distribution allows it to move over.
Okay, next.
Okay, this is group 4. The marble that's going to be resting up here is going to roll down this ramp and land in this basket. It's going to pull down on this pulley system, like this. Here's a lever, it's going to pull up on this other lever. There's going to be marble resting on top of the screw. It's going to kind of nudge it lightly. And it's going to let it go loosely on the screw. It's going to roll down this ramp, hit this contraption here. As it falls, it'll hit the wedge. As it hits the wedge, the wheel will roll down the ramp and hit this kind of station here. There's going to be marble right here. It's going to fall in the basket and work into group 5.
And when the marble falls in the basket, it'll lift the lever, which will have a marble sitting right there, and it'll roll down, and then roll down an inclined plane, which it'll hit a wheel and axle. It'll first hit a wedge, and then that'll hit a wheel and axle, and then that'll roll down with enough momentum. It'll shake the screw, and it has one spring on it, so it's less sturdy, so it can just a little bit will set it off, and then it'll roll down the inclined plane, which will lead to group 6.
Okay, this is a group 6's.
Here's your marble. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I won't. Okay, there, inclined plane will hit our lever, which is set up like this, which will hit a panel, which will hit a marble, which is placed right here, and the panel will hit through. But as that is going on, this lever also hits the secondary lever, which knocks into this weight that's carrying the gate, but the weight is wrapped around the screw.
To slow it down.
Yeah, to slow it down. And after it hits, it opens, releasing the marble to enter here, which will hit into the back of this big lever, which will push off this weight up here.
which will pull down on the chain, which will drag the flag up.
Here, let's see if we can get this to.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah.